Hello. Hello, 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 hello. Good morning. Hello, good afternoon. For those of you that are out east, good afternoon. Still barely my morning. It's 10. I saw you creeping around down there. Good morning, Harry. How are you? Did you come up to say good morning to everybody? Yeah? It's a very nice thing to do, to say good morning. Yes. But I need you to get down. Come on, get down. Get down. Please get down off the desk. Please. Oh, that's how we're going to play this, huh? Good afternoon, Miss Francis. Carla! Yeah, he's in a mood. All right, get down. Come on, get down. You have to get down. Mommy has to work. I need to do stuff on that table. You got to get down, please. No, please get down. Please. Thank you. Okay. See, sometimes he's a nice kitty. Sometimes. Oh, kisses? I'm getting kisses? How come I'm getting kisses today? Huh? How come I'm getting kisses today? Do you need treats? Is that the problem? You haven't had treats in a whole 5 minutes? Heaven forbid. There you go. Okay. All right. What are we finishing now? Oh, I didn't finish the other book. Shoot me. I'll get it done. We're going to do these 4 outside panels. These 2 and the 2 underneath today. Okay. Now those are easy because we're just going to cover, it's kind of a just covering thing. All right. And I think we're going to go with these 2. So let me get these trimmed around the edges. Oh, take off the white. So what are we doing today, ladies? How's life? How's things going? How many tickets have you sold for the raffle? Maybe 10? Oh, that's not good. I hope you put some kind of like limit on it. Like, you have to sell so many before you just refund everybody's money. Okay. Let's take a look. So I think this one is going to be the outside. And so that's 6. So we need this to be about 5 1/4. somewhere in that neighborhood. So let's see, what's our midpoint? That's our middle. Yeah, it's about 5 1/4, give or take. Good. Good. Okay. Do some inking. So I went to the post office yesterday, and then I went to the grocery store. Okay, so I try to eat, relatively healthy. And with that whole, me being sick thing, we've tried really, really hard to be healthy. But to admit, we do fall down in one department. Mike and I absolutely love those stupid Salisbury steaks. The cheap ones you get in the pan. They're like this big. Well, that's a good idea, Carly. You should look into that one. Francis, take a look at it. See if there's something, that you can do like that. That would be awesome. So, yeah. So Mike and I, we love these Salisbury steaks. I think it's a throwback from when we were kids, But every now and then, we just cook a pan of those up because, some vegetables and maybe some rolls. Boom, you got a meal, Okay, it's not the best meal, but it fills the hole. He has not been able to find them for like 2 months. So yesterday I went to the grocery store expressly looking for them because I went to the one grocery store he never goes to. He does not like that grocery store. He doesn't like it because they don't take credit cards. They only take debit cards. And he likes to buy all of our groceries and put them on this one card that we get like a big amount of cash back on. So he likes to put the groceries on that card and then, just pay it off from the checking when it comes in. Well, they don't take credit cards, so he doesn't like to shop there. Yeah. Come on. Mike and I keep threatening to take a cruise for Christmas. Like, we're just going to hand you all $50 gift cards. We're going on a cruise. my grandkids are like, not funny. I ain't trying to be funny. I'm telling you, that's what's going to happen one of these days. You're going to get a phone call about 3 days before Christmas. Get over here and pick up your gift cards. Even my popper out. Peace. Well, my grandkids have just gotten to that age, you know. They're teenagers. There's not like a whole lot I can get them. I don't know, someplace tropical this time. Like, I've done the Mexican Riviera a couple of times, and Mike's done it once, so probably something tropical. I'd like to do Bermuda. Because, you know, half the island is American and the other half of it is English. And if you want to see a difference in culture, that's where you go. Because one side of it is like, you know, tourists in shorts and tank tops and floppy hats. And the other side is very British. Like, you can't go into a restaurant unless you're wearing like full clothing. And it's kind of weird. I'd like to do Bermuda. I've been most places where you can go to like surf and stuff like that. Like if there's a beach, I've been there when I was younger. Except I've never been to Australia and New Zealand, that area. I've never been there. Mostly because they have really mean sharks. And I didn't want to get eaten. I did not want to get eaten. I was like, I'm not lunch. But you really can't say that to a shark, you know. You look at them and go, I'm not lunch. And they go, oh, yes, you are. Yes, they do. Yes, they would be very upset if I took off on them. But Pop and I keep threatening it. I don't know. I managed to pull it out of my butt every year. Last year, let's see, year before last, I got the boys all Nerf guns and like 1,000 rounds apiece, which is cool because they still have Nerf wars with their dad and Will. They all run over, and Alex gets in too. They all run over all over the house shooting each other with Nerf guns. So getting a new Nerf gun with 1,000 rounds was a good plan. And of course, Uncle Mikey, the big brain boy, he taught them how to take out the mechanisms in it that keeps it from shooting too hard. Because they have a mechanism in there that keeps it from overcharging so that it doesn't, you know, it doesn't really, can't hurt somebody. Uncle Mikey figured out how to take that thing out and still make the gun work. So he taught them how to do it. So yeah, they run around the house having Nerf wars. They've been doing that since the boys were little. Even Bima used to play. I used to sit in my chair, and if anybody shot me, I'd pull my Nerf gun up, shoot them back. Get out of here! I'm trying to watch TV. Yeah, shit. Eva shot me. Well, you shouldn't have gotten in front of her television. Yeah, he's a walking genius. You know, I've done the Alaskan cruise. I actually lived in Alaska. I lived in Alaska when my daughter was very young. I did the whole ice bridge into Russia and all that stuff. Saw the Aurora Borealis. Um, went moose hunting, panned for gold. I did all of it when Alex was young, before I broke my back. And then I broke my back. And, you know, my mom, she used to laugh about it because all the crap that I did when I was in my teen years and in my very early 20s, um, she would have thought I'd have screwed something up during that, you know? Because I was that kid. I used to surf, hang glided one time because I wanted to try it. Um, I used to dive. I used to body surf. I did all that stuff. My mom always thought that that would be, you know, that was going to be what took me out. But yeah, that wasn't it. How bizarre, right? Um, yeah, it was that was not what took me out. My mom was like, that's impossible. Um, I get taken out by a piece of cardboard. Um, but I was that person. Like when Alex was a baby, I used to carry her in a papoose on my back on my mountain bike, and I would just tear up like all kinds of wilderness areas and stuff. And I used to rock climb, and I had one of those bikes that only weighs like, you know, a pound. I think it was it 31 ounces or something like that, the frame. With all the attachments, I think it came to 31 or 32 ounces. And I used to carry that thing. I'd hook it onto my belt, and I'd have her papoosed into my back, and I'd go climb a rock face because I wanted a mountain bike back down the other side of it. And my mom was always like, she always swore that she was going to get a phone call in the middle of the night that I'd fallen off of a mountain someplace, or uh, a shark had eaten me, or, you know. And no, no, piece of freaking cardboard. Unbelievable. All right, I saved all the smaller pieces for a reason, so we can make tabs out of them. Okay, Francis, let me tell you something about Alaska. Moved to Alaska in July. Okay, we wanted to make an adventure out of it, so we drove the Alcan, um, the Alaskan Canada Highway. It's called the Alcan Highway. You basically go up the coast of California, you cross into Canada, and you take this road, which, by the way, is constantly under construction. Um, a lot of it does not have any hotels, so you must sleep in your car. And in the places where you have to sleep in your car, before dark, they have lockers for you to lock up any food, personal items like shampoo, lotion, that type of stuff that you may have in your car, in the lockers, because the bears come down and hang out.
better than strawberry shampoo.
It smells like Blue Billy.
So we drove the Alcat. This is an adventure. We'll do it. It's great. What putzes? Well, we got up there, got to Alaska. We stopped in California on the 4th of July, which was my mother's birthday. So we stopped to see my mom for her birthday. And we stayed a couple, 2-3 days. Okay. Then we got on the road and drove up the Alcan. It takes a week. Okay. Plus a day from California to the, Oregon kind of thing to get out of the country. And so we did that. And then so figure let's see. Figure 10 days. So the 14th of July, 15th of July, we arrive in Fairbanks, Alaska. Now, Fairbanks is in the center of Alaska. It's very cold there. I did not realize how cold. We got up on the 16th of July, and it was snowing. Mind you, we moved from Arizona. Hi, Larry. Oh, just because it's paved doesn't mean that it's actually paved. Because you're driving down it and all of a sudden there's a guy standing in the middle of nowhere and he goes, "You're going to have to go down this detour." That detour is nothing but a dirt ditch. All those pictures that they show of people driving down the Alcan and it's a straight road and there's the mountain in front of them, they're full of bull pucky. There's nothing straight or fun about that road. So, yeah, 16th of July, 2 feet of snow. By August, I had moose looking in my second story window because the snow was so deep. They use steam heat up there. And at one point, I woke up in the middle of the night because it was cold. And I went into my daughter's room. She was still in a crib at the time. And there was ice on the wall inside my house. I had never experienced anything like that, and I'm never going to experience it again. Been there, done that, seen that, not interested. Yay! Mike hates snow.
Mike grew up on snow.
Mike hates snow.
Mike's knees hate snow.
Mike's knees hates snow.
Mike's everything hates snow. Like we're trying to determine where we're going to live and, to retire. We don't want to stay here because it's too freaking hot. And the older we get, the hotter it's getting.
The slower it makes me outside. I don't like it.
So, we're thinking central. Someplace right in the middle of the country. This way, I can get in the RV and I can travel and go visit anybody I want to and scavenger wherever I want to. And I can have fun and he can stay home.
In the house.
Maintain the house. Go fishing.
Target shooting.
Do some target shooting. Whatever it is he wants to do. Peacefully and quietly. On his little piece of heaven. Okay? But there's a rule. The average annual snowfall can't exceed like 2 feet.
Annual, not daily.
Good luck with that.
I have to ask you about that, Carla. Did you have power outages? Because I know they were talking about there was some issues in Minnesota. Did that hit you or did that pass you, babe? Good luck, Zoe. Yeah, as long as you don't have to drive in it, right? Your boss was without power for 4 days? South and east. Cool. Some debris. Is that what we're calling craft supplies now? Debris. Well, I'll tell you what, in Alaska, nobody gets robbed in the winter. Because when you drive up there, the trail of your exhaust hangs in the air forever. And so if you rob a bank or something, they just follow the exhaust to you. How sad is that? Oh. Alaskan driver's license question. If you're traveling 45 miles an hour down a road and there's a moose in the street, who has the right of way? I'll give you a hint. It's not you.
Right up there with the bear.
You are not in control at that point.
Probably shut
Touch the egg.
It's weird. Somebody had sandpaper for a chicken ass.
Do you think it's okay to eat?
It's fine.
Okay.
No, sometimes they just it's a glandular thing where they overproduce the enzyme needed for the shell.
Okay. I just want to make sure I'm not the only one that uses eggs.
I know.
And agreed. Usually they're a little more smooth than that. It felt like
I've never pulled
fine
it out of the
sandpaper.
box like that where it's like, this smells different.
They're designed for better grip when you want to one-handed split them. Okay, that's what it
Is
is.
that specially engineered just for one-handed eggs
For chefs, yeah.
cracking?
Egg cracking, right?
For chef cracking, yeah.
Chef
Okay.
egg cracking.
That's why I was so confused because I'm not a chef.
There you go.
Uh,
That makes perfect sense, right? Shush, we're going with it.
it works.
Okay.
This is a printable. Yes, ma'am. Everybody saying hi to you, lady.
Hello, people. Good morning. Breakfast time.
Yeah.
We were actually telling Sandy the other day about this. I used to have a rodeo, Isuzu rodeo, and it was a 4-wheel drive, and it converted on the fly, like on its own. Oh my God. We took it one time. We were going to go.
Fun.
We were going to Arizona to visit his brother for the holidays between, Thanksgiving and Christmas. And there was a freak snowstorm in Searchlight, and a truck had jackknifed, and we couldn't come back to Vegas. We're like, okay, we'll just drive through. Well, couldn't drive through because the truck jackknifed on that end too. So they had a truck on either side of Searchlight, which is podunk nowhere, Nevada. Okay. Yeah, it was hard to get parts for it. But
in
my
southern state, there'd be banjos playing.
Yeah, if we were in a southern state, it would have been. We got snowed in, and at about 2:00 in the morning, we got cleared to leave. If you had a 4-wheel drive or you had chains, I had a 4-wheel drive. They plowed in the only hotel in town. We got the last room. They plowed in the driveway, and when we pulled in, we noticed that there had been big rocks that I had to avoid pulling into the driveway. So we were a little concerned going out of the driveway in the snow. So Mike took it out of the driveway. And I'm trying to drive it. And, new cars, they learn. Their computer learns. Like if you have like a lot of rain, your computer learns how to adjust for that with traction. It's one of the dynamic things about cars. Well, my rodeo occasionally got to go out in the mud, but had never driven on ice and snow. Almost never got in the water because, I live in the freaking desert. My truck was doing this. 4-wheel drive regular, 4-wheel drive regular. Mike drove it home. We had to drive right down the middle of the road. They weren't letting any traffic into Searchlight. So we drove straight down the middle of the street in a blinding snowstorm in the middle of freaking Nevada. Mine was perfect. It was in perfect condition. It had less than 60,000 miles on it. And that was 6 years ago. And I had a guy that used to come up all the time and go, "You won't sell me that truck?" No, I don't want to sell you my truck. And then all of a sudden, we took it in to get an oil change done on it. And we didn't take it to our regular mechanic. We took it to one of those oil places. And the next thing I knew, the oil in there was gloop. Just gloop. And Mike couldn't get it cleaned out. He took the whole pan off of it and everything. And the whole engine was just full of this stuff. And I could not get it to run. Because this stuff just glooped everything up. So I ended up having to junk it. And I was so sad because I love that damn truck. But there was nothing I could do. It was a mess. All right, we need to make another one of those paper clip things for this one. The tabs. Let me grab one out of the bin. Well, the problem is with the rodeo, they put them out there, and almost immediately they shut down all operations in the U.S. So if you had one, it was almost impossible to get parts for it. I used to order parts from the UK because they still have them over there. They're not called rodeos, but the parts work. Ooh. Well, I think we might have to make a tab. Yep, we're going to have to make a tab. Okay. Because I don't have any in there that'll work. Let me see. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Normally, I don't either. But Mike had hurt himself. We had gone out to, we took the kids over to the mountain to play in the snow. And Mike was playing with the kids, and he was coming down a hill, and he ended up wrapping his knee around a tree. And whoop, that was not good, you know? Okay, here we go. Let's see if we got one we want to use here. Otherwise, we'll just put new paper on one. Let's see. No. We could use one with book page. Yeah. Okay. Bye, Carla. Yeah, so he screwed up his knee really bad. And so I was like, I don't want to make him get under there and have to, change the oil on my truck. And that truck was just high enough that it was uncomfortable to have to reach up and remove the bolt to drain it. So I was like, son of a... Well, this was not a good plan. Not a good plan at all. Oh, let's see. I just cut that upside down. That's okay. I'll get some skizzers and we'll do this the right way. I don't know where my skizzers are. Here, skizzers. Craft roll. All right. Let's try that again. Only this time, let's actually, try to get there. Here we go. Okay. Let's see. I got it right the second time. I got it wrong the first time. Okay. Let's get some ink. All right, so this week's project is stitched pockets, but the problem is that I can't stitch those suckers on my sewing machine here. I'd have to do it off the camera. So, I don't know. Let's put this one on here, shall we? Okay, let's build it first. Building it would be good before we decide where it's going to be. Where's it going to live? I don't know. I was watching a show the other day because, Mike and I are always kind of keeping our eye out on the market for houses because we want to make sure that when we decide on a house that we're actually getting, something we want. So we keep an eye on the market. And I was watching something the other day that was one of those shows where, they're refurbishing old houses. And this lady came across an old Sears and Roebuck house. Did you hear him? Those houses, like, I didn't think any of them were still standing. Apparently they are. Yeah, she was looking at the house and she was looking at the house and she was looking at the house and she was talking about, the house has good bones, blah, 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 blah. And then she just kept looking at it weird. And then she was like, there's just something about this. And so she looked at her husband, who's the guy who does the filming for her. And she goes, let's go up into the attic. And he's like, okay, let's go take a look. So they go up into the attic and she starts looking around. She's got a big mag light out. She's like, yep, just what I thought. This is a Sears and Roebuck's house. And then, so I watched the next episode and they looked it up in the old records. And yeah, it was a Sears and Roebuck's Victorian.
Really? The Victorian one?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I like that one. I have seen every blueprint that Sears and Roebuck has ever made. Those were awesome.
But these were gorgeous houses.
Yes.
And if you don't know about Sears and Roebuck's houses, you can get anything from Sears. Used to be. You could get anything. Once upon a time, you get anything from Sears. And one of the things they sold were house kits. You used to go in the catalog and you'd buy the house kit, and they were only like $3,000 or $4,000, if that.
Well, at the time, that was a lot of money.
But at the time, that was a lot of money. But the house would come to you. It took about a month to send it to you. But you would get the house, you'd buy a piece of land, and you'd put in all your utilities and everything. And then the house would come on a train. And it was not put together. It was just the pieces. They would assemble it on site. Then they would take it apart, mark it, and put it back, like all the roof trusses were in one section, all the wall pieces. And then they would send it to you. And then like a puzzle, you would just put it together following the blueprint, piece 1, piece 2, piece 3, piece 4. And you'd put the whole thing together. And they actually had construction crews that specialized in this. But you find them in the Midwest. Unfortunately, a lot of them were built like in Tornado Alley. A lot of them were built in company towns. So if you live in a town that used to be a company town, you may find that you have some Sears and Roebuck's homes. You basically have to go up in the attic and you have to look at the rafters, because that's the one place where you're going to see the markings and the numberings for these things. But I thought she was going to lose her shit.
I would.
I would.
Oh, hell yeah.
Those houses were gorgeous. They were perfect little houses. And like I said, most of the time you'd find them like in company towns, because a lot of the coal companies and stuff would buy them and would put them in for employee housing because it was fast. Usually those are like bungalows though. The one that she found is more like something they would have put in for like the company owner. But this was literally like the prefab house of its day. but you could order it with all kinds of special things. You could, a kitchen didn't come standard, but if you wanted the kitchen, you could get the kitchen. If you wanted, were you going to be building it over a basement foundation or flat? Because that depended on what you were getting for your flooring. You could get shiplap for the walls, or you could get the walls done just in, plywood. They didn't have, drywall back then, but you could get just plywood walls, or you could get shiplap walls. You could get plastered walls. There were options. And these houses were very well made because they were designed to, last quite a while. But when those company towns started closing down, a lot of those just kind of got left. I don't like this at all. Taking that off of there. I don't like it. Okay. So yeah, if you live in the Midwest and you live in a home that was built like in the early 1900s, go crawl around. You might be, without knowing it, living in a Sears and Roebuck's house, and they're worth a lot of money.
Your best bet is to go to the website and look up the blueprints, and they've got the different styles of houses there. You'd be able to.
Yeah, you could look up the blueprint and at least have an idea of if your house is even in the right configurations. And you got to look at the bones of your house because, people change things over the years. I don't know. But every now and then you come across one, and they're worth quite a bit because they're still there,
They're a 100-year-old house.
They're more than that now.
Oh, yeah. Well, plus. No, I'm just kidding. All right.
It's this, I think, that's throwing me. Why are you being such a pain?
Now the time when I can open cheese successfully. With no dogs.
Right. You're all snacking out on everything.
My paper clip's a little tight. I'm just loosening it up there a bit. There we go. Okay. I can live with that. So yeah, if, and I know that there are some that they have taken down and moved and put in like, like museums and stuff, because, you know, they were able to disassemble them. So if you ever get a chance, and I know that there's some that they offer tours and stuff. So if you ever get a chance, go tour one. They're really, really nice houses. There's one here.
Like I said, check out the blueprints if you really get a feel for what they look like.
We have one here that's in the, I took Amy out there. It's,
And Sandy.
and Sandy. They did like a, it's like a main street. If you've ever watched Pawn Stars,
The all-knowing beard.
the guy that comes in the all-knowing beard, well, my son, he's a friend of my son's, but he used to be the curator out there, and it's a natural history or a local history museum, and they do talk about, you know, the reservations and the Indians that lived here, and the fact that Las Vegas is actually a spring in the middle of the desert, and all of this stuff. And he recreated a vintage Main Street.
With cars and everything.
There's cars. There's even a campground with a little teardrop trailer.
Isn't there also a little railroad?
Yes, there's a little railroad section. But what he did is, like, he's got like one of the houses from when they were building the Hoover Dam.
I wouldn't say it's little. They're full-size trains.
Yeah, they're full-size trains. But
It's a little section. It's
yeah,
not
but
it's
like, there's the one part that I didn't take you to because it was really hot that day.
right.
But there's like a ghost town. Like, they bought a ghost
Yeah, we
town
can
and moved
see
it out
from a
there.
distance, but it's out there.
And they
looked
moved
cool,
it.
but it was like over 100 degrees the day we
Yeah.
were out there.
But they
Even
made a
though it's
main
shady,
street.
But
So when you first turn onto the main street, there's houses there from like the 1940s, 1950s, 1960s,
they have them all done up.
1920s,
style.
and they're all done period. Like, if it was in that house in that period, even down to the shed in the backyard with the washing machine,
Yeah.
the hand cranked washing machine. And so I took Amy out there because it's one of my favorite places. I love to go out there. There's a beautiful little gazebo. And I love to go out there and just throw a blanket on the grass by the
They do it
gazebo
Nice for Christmas.
and sit down. And they do it
They really?
gorgeous for
Yeah.
Christmas.
Nice.
Oh my God. Because they decorate each house in the period
Oh, that'd be really
of the
cool.
holiday.
Yeah.
That was the church where they had the 70s people doing
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
wedding. I
There's
remember
one of the original wedding chapels from Vegas, from the Strip, is out there. The little white chapel that is out there.
And the mannequins are in 70s clothes.
Yeah. But it's just
Groovy.
it's just gorgeous. And
It was a lot of fun.
it doesn't actually cost to walk around the main street. It costs to go into the museum itself.
But it wasn't that much.
No, it's only
It's a nominal.
$3-4 a person. But we went out there, and one of the houses they have out there is a Sears and Roebuck's house, because it was one of the ones that was built for one of the designers for the Hoover Dam. So one of those houses is a Sears and Roebuck's house, and it's got a beautiful porch on it, and it's got a rock base around the porch and everything. They're gorgeous. And they're opening some new ones too. They just put some new ones
Are they
out there.
really?
Well, the ones that we saw when we went out there, remember there was a couple of that were still locked up
Yeah.
across
they
by the
finished
train
them?
station.
Yeah.
Yeah, they finished them.
Nice.
So we'll have to go back out and look.
That would be fun.
It's
I
nice that
enjoyed
they got
that
it.
afternoon.
It's nice that they got it changing all the time.
Yeah.
In
They
a
do
positive
seasonal.
manner.
He does seasonals, and then they do a antique car show out there where the car has to be prior to 1950.
Oh.
They also do an Indian.
Do they line them up on Main Street or just?
They put some along the end of Main Street there,
Yeah.
and then that big lot behind the huge steam engine.
Oh, okay. Okay.
There's a nature trail out there that you can walk that only takes like an hour. It's flat ground.
But don't do it in the middle of the summer.
Don't do it in the middle of the summer. But it's designed for you to be able to walk around. There's an old printing press out there
Yeah.
with a tin ceiling.
It's gorgeous.
It is
gorgeous.
Gorgeous. I took Amy and she was like, "Where are we going?" I said, "Just bear with me today, okay?"
She wouldn't tell me.
She's like, "Okay."
It's
We
more
got
fun
there.
that way on that trip,
We walked
you know?
inside. She was like, "Oh," and I said, "Well, come here. I got to show you." And we went out. We walked out. She was, "It's hot." We hit Main Street. She went, "Oh my God." It's gorgeous. It is.
It's like
I
walking.
thought we were going on a hike. I'm like, this is too hot for a hike.
pretty soon when you're walking down the street, you're expecting to see Leave It the Beaver and his
Yeah,
buddy
yeah,
following
yeah.
you down this, you know. and
But
all
I mean,
that.
there's everything out there. It's gorgeous and it's adorable and it's fantastic. And I took Amy out there and she loved it. And I promised her we'd go back. We were going to go last Christmas, but I took her to go see the lights
We went
instead.
to see three different light shows. The drive-through ones.
Yeah.
And one walk-through one. That chocolate factory, right?
Yes, the chocolate factory.
None of us is soon to forget the chocolate.
When they
factory.
gave you free chocolate. Yeah. So that's it, guys. Mike is already working, so I'm going to have to get off of here. I'm going to get this cut, and I'm going to work a little bit in here. We've got the outsides done, so hopefully tomorrow, is it tomorrow? What's today? Is today Thursday?
Yes.
Yeah, hopefully tomorrow I can show you this all finished, and we're going to talk about something else that I do when my creative juices kind of slow down, and I can't figure out what I want to do. We're going to talk about that.
Could you spell that for me, please?
So that's it. Till I see you guys again, stay well. I love you guys. Bye-bye.
Oh, thank you so much. I wouldn't even come close to that. I really appreciate that. So what's the circuit ID that